你的大脑里是不是有一间24小时不打烊的灾难电影制片厂？主管今天早上少跟你说了一句早安，你的大脑立刻推演出他一定对我不满，我下个月肯定要被开除了。朋友回复讯息晚了半小时，你立刻联想到他是不是讨厌我了？我是不是做错了什么？这一切都没有发生，但你的心脏却已经在狂跳。这就是现代人最致命的能量杀手——精神内耗 Overthinking。 你明明一整天都坐在办公桌前，没有搬过一块砖头，但到了晚上，你却觉得自己像跑完了一场马拉松一样虚脱，因为你的大脑在过去与未来之间疯狂折返跑。你在虚拟的战场里打了一整天根本不存在的仗。为什么我们的大脑如此热衷于自我折磨？为什么我们总是无法关掉这个喋喋不休的声音？今天我们将带你逃出这座思想的监狱，我们将用神经科学揭开过度思虑的底层机制，我们将用古老的觉知法则教你如何一键关闭大脑的灾难制造机。从神经科学的角度来看，精神内耗是大脑的预设模式网络 DMN 失控的结果。当我们不专注于某项具体任务时，这个网络就会自动开启，它会疯狂地检索过去的记忆，并对未来进行沙盘推演。在远古时代，这种推演能帮助我们预测野兽的袭击，但现在它却把所有的模糊讯息都自动补脑成了致命的威胁。最可怕的是，大脑其实无法分辨想象的恐惧与真实的恐惧。当你在脑海中想象失业的悲惨画面时，你的杏仁核会把它当作真实事件来处理，它会立刻释放大量的皮质醇毒害你的身体。你因为一个想象出来的未来，在当下承受了真实的生理损伤。精神内耗就是在对自己的神经系统进行慢性下毒。心理学将这种现象称为反刍思考 rumination， 就像牛把吃下去的草吐出来再嚼一遍一样。我们把过去的尴尬经历或是未来的担忧在脑海中反复咀嚼，我们误以为一直想就能找到解决方案，但事实上，这种反刍只会加深神经回路的焦虑连结，让你陷入思维的死胡同里无法自拔。让我们聆听灵性大师艾克哈特·托勒的智慧。他曾说，你不是你的大脑，大脑只是一个工具。精神内耗的悲剧在于，工具反客为主，控制了主人。你被卷入思想的洪流中，误以为那个喋喋不休的声音就是我。当你认同了思想，你就成为了恐惧的奴隶。觉醒的第一步，就是从思想中退后一步，成为一个纯粹的观察者。杨定一博士指出，所有的内耗都发生在过去与未来的幻想中。大脑不断地追悔过去，担忧未来，却唯独错过了唯一的真实——当下。过去已经死亡，未来尚未出生。你把所有的生命能量都投资在了两个根本不存在的时空里。当你回到当下，哪怕只是一次专注的呼吸，内耗的幻想就会瞬间瓦解。佛陀教导我们要看破无常。大脑之所以疯狂思虑，是因为它试图掌控一切，它渴望一个绝对安全、不会改变的确定性。但宇宙的本质就是无常。当你试图用思想去框住如流水般变化的生命时，痛苦就产生了。臣服于生命的不确定性，放下对结果的死命抓取，才是终结内耗的终极解药。看看我们被大脑折磨的搞笑日常。晚上躺在床上准备睡觉，大脑突然问你：嘿，你还记得5年前在聚会上讲的那个超冷的笑话吗？然后你整个人尴尬到在床上扭曲成一条蛆，恨不得时光倒流。5年前的观众早就忘得一干二净了， 只有你的大脑还在为这场考古级的尴尬买单。这就是大脑最恶劣的恶作剧。或者，你要传一封重要的电子邮件给客户，你盯着发送按钮看了10分钟，大脑开始演戏，如果语气太硬怎么办？如果少了一个逗号怎么办？他会不会觉得我不专业？你反复读了50遍，最后手抖着按下了发送，结果3秒后，对方只回了一个赞的贴图。你刚刚花费了足以推动一架太空梭的能量去对付一个表情符号。我们的大脑就像是一个没有刹车的越野车，在我们的心灵深处疯狂飙车。我们以为自己是驾驶员，其实我们是被绑在保险杆上的受害者。我们任由大脑把那些最微不足道的日常小事放大成世界末日级别的灾难。如果我们不拿回方向盘，我们就会永远被拖着走。要终止这场脑内风暴，我们来练习3个微行动。第一个是想法不等于事实法则。当大脑又开始播放灾难片时，在心里大声对它喊停，然后问自己一个问题：这个想法有任何绝对的客观证据吗？还是这只是我的恐惧在写剧本？把你的想法当作一个可以被质疑的假说，而不是不可动摇的真理。瞬间，你就能从剧情中抽离出来。第二个练习叫做指定焦虑时间。精神内耗最大的问题是它会像病毒一样感染你的一整天。从今天起，给自己设定一个专属焦虑时间，比如每天下午5点到5点15分。当白天有任何焦虑的念头冒出来时，告诉大脑，收到，我们把这个问题留到下午5点再担心，把焦虑圈禁在一个固定的时间段里，它就失去了掌控全局的魔力。第3个练习是最高级的5官着陆法。当你陷入内耗的流沙时，立刻启动你的身体感官，找出5件你能看到的东西，4件你能摸到的东西，3件你能听到的声音。当你强迫大脑去处理实实在在的感官资讯时，那个负责胡思乱想的预设模式网络就会被迫关机。这是一次将灵魂从虚幻的未来强行拉回坚实大地的紧急迫降。停止这场残酷的自我消耗吧。你并不需要为那些从未发生过的事情感到抱歉，你也不需要为那些不在你控制范围内的未来提前买单。把那个沉重的背包卸下来。你的肩膀是用来拥抱当下的阳光，而不是用来扛起整个宇宙的焦虑的。让思想成为你的仆人，而不是你的暴君。当大脑再次试图将你卷入恐惧的漩涡时，微笑着看着它，就像看着一个调皮的孩子。你不需要消灭思想，你只需要安静地看着它升起，看着它落下，而不去参与其中。你那份不可撼动的宁静一直都在那里。现在，请深深地吸一口气，感受空气充满你的肺部，这是你此时此刻唯一需要处理的真实。慢慢地吐气，把大脑里那些喧嚣的杂音全部吹散，把注意力收回到这颗跳动的心脏上。你很安全，万物皆安。我们在下一个觉醒的当下再见。
Is there a 24-hour nonstop disaster movie studio inside your brain? Your manager missed saying good morning to you today, and your brain immediately deduces, he must be dissatisfied with me, I will definitely be fired next month. A friend replies to a message half an hour late, and you immediately associate it with, does he hate me? Did I do something wrong? None of this has happened, but your heart is already racing wildly. This is the most lethal energy killer for modern humans, overthinking. You clearly sat at your desk all day long without moving a single brick. But by night, you feel as exhausted as if you had just finished a marathon. Because your brain ran back and forth crazily between the past and the future. You fought battles that did not exist at all in a virtual battlefield all day long. Why is our brain so enthusiastic about self-torture? Why can we always not turn off this chattering voice? Today, we will take you escaping out of this prison of thought. We will use neuroscience to uncover the underlying mechanism of overthinking. We will use ancient laws of awareness to teach you how to turn off the brain's disaster machine with one click. From a neuroscience perspective, overthinking is the result of the brain's default mode network, DMN, running out of control. When we are not focused on a specific task, this network turns on automatically. It will wildly retrieve past memories and conduct sample simulations for the future. In ancient times, this simulation helped us predict beast attacks. But now, it automatically fills in all ambiguous information as fatal threats in our minds. The most terrifying thing is, the brain actually cannot distinguish between imagined fear and real fear. When you imagine the miserable scene of losing your job in your mind, your amygdala treats it as a real event. It will immediately release a massive amount of cortisol to poison your body. Because of an imagined future, you endure real physiological damage in the present moment. Overthinking is chronically poisoning your own nervous system. Psychology calls this phenomenon rumination. Just like a cow regurgitating eaten grass to chew it again. We chew over past embarrassing experiences, or future worries, repeatedly in our minds. We mistakenly believe that thinking constantly will find a solution. But in fact, this rumination only deepens the anxiety connections in the neural pathways, trapping you in a mental dead end unable to free yourself. Let us listen to the wisdom of spiritual master Eckhart Tolle. He once said, "You are not your mind. The mind is just a tool." The tragedy of overthinking lies in that the tool usurps the host and controls the master. You are swept into the torrent of thoughts, mistakenly believing that the chattering voice is I. When you identify with thoughts, you become a slave to fear. The first step to awakening is to take a step back from thoughts and become a pure observer. Dr. Yang Ding Ai points out that all internal friction happens in the illusions of the past and future. The brain constantly regrets the past and worries about the future, yet uniquely misses the only reality, the present. The past is already dead, and the future is not yet born. You have invested all your life energy into two dimensions of time and space that do not exist at all. When you return to the present, even with just one focused breath, the illusion of internal friction instantly collapses. The Buddha taught us to see through impermanence. The reason the brain overthinks crazily is because it tries to control everything, craving an absolutely safe certainty that will not change. But the essence of the universe is impermanence. When you try to use thoughts to frame life that changes like flowing water, suffering arises. Surrendering to the uncertainty of life, and letting go of the desperate grasping for outcomes, is the ultimate antidote to end internal friction. Look at our hilarious daily lives tortured by the brain. Lying in bed at night ready to sleep, the brain suddenly asks you, "Hey, do you remember that super awkward joke you told at the party 5 years ago?" Then you feel so embarrassed that your whole body twists like a maggot on the bed, desperately wishing to turn back time. The audience from 5 years ago has already forgotten it entirely, and only your brain is still paying for this archaeological level embarrassment. This is the brain's most wicked prank. Or, you are about to send an important email to a client. You stare at the send button for 10 minutes. The brain starts acting. What if the tone is too harsh? What if it's missing a comma? Will he think I am unprofessional? You read it over 50 times, and finally press send with trembling hands. As a result, 3 seconds later, the other party just replies with a thumbs up sticker. You just spent enough energy to propel a space shuttle to deal with an emoji. Our brain is like an off-road vehicle without brakes, racing crazily deep in our minds. We think we are the driver, but actually, we are the victim tied to the bumper. We let the brain magnify those most insignificant daily trifles into doomsday-level disasters. If we do not take back the steering wheel, we will be dragged along forever. To stop this in-brainstorm, let us practice 3 micro-actions. The first one is the thoughts do not equal facts rule. When the brain starts playing disaster movies again, loudly shout stop to it in your heart. Then ask yourself a question: does this thought have any absolute objective evidence? Or is this just my fear writing a script? Treat your thoughts as a hypothesis that can be questioned, rather than an unshakable truth. Instantly, you can detach yourself from the drama. The second practice is called designated anxiety time. The biggest problem with overthinking is that it infects your whole day like a virus. Starting today, set a dedicated anxiety time for yourself, such as from 5 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. every day. When any anxious thoughts pop up during the day, tell the brain, received, we will leave this problem to worry about at 5 p.m. By enclosing anxiety within a fixed time frame, it loses the magic to control the overall situation. The third practice is the highest level 5 senses grounding method. When you sink into the quicksand of internal friction, immediately activate your physical senses. Find 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, and 3 sounds you can hear. When you force the brain to process solid sensory information, that default mode network responsible for daydreaming will be forced to shut down. This is an emergency crash landing that forcefully pulls the soul from the illusory future back to solid ground. Stop this cruel self-depletion. You do not need to feel sorry for things that have never happened, nor do you need to pay in advance for futures that are beyond your control. Take off that heavy backpack. Your shoulders are meant for embracing the sunshine of the present moment, not for carrying the anxiety of the entire universe. Let thoughts become your servant, not your tyrant. When the brain tries to drag you into the vortex of fear again, smile and look at it, like looking at a mischievous child. You do not need to eliminate thoughts, you only need to quietly watch them arise, watch them fall, without participating in them. Your unshakable tranquility has always been right there. Now, please take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs. This is the only reality you need to deal with right here, right now. Slowly exhale, blowing away all those noisy murmurs in the brain. Draw your attention back to this beating heart. You are safe, and all is well. We will see each other again in the next moment of awakening.